Please join me in welcoming today's guest of honor, Hannah Moon.
Both of my parents are artistic people. My father was an art teacher in Korea, and his work is phenomenal. He still paints and draws, and he has so much work. You know, the typical immigrant life. They opened a Korean deli. I'm sure you've heard of that before. We had this fish and fruit store, but his artwork pretty much looked like this in our fruit store. So all of his impressionistic paintings, landscape, it was right above the apples, oranges, cantaloupe, and watermelon, and fish, like everywhere. So that was our store. Faces, it's funny because my mom, she told me that when I was 2 or 3, I used to draw faces on the floor, like with a crayon or something, and then my mom would say, Hannah, you know, don't draw on the floor, because, you know, that's not where you're supposed to draw, okay? And I would say, okay. She would find in the very corner of a room like a tiny little face that I had snuck in, because I just couldn't get away with not drawing a face. So I guess I liked faces, and I still love to draw people. I took an acting class offhand at Carnegie Mellon, and I fell in love with acting. Now, my only acting experience before that was playing Cinderella in 4th grade, which is a big deal, by the way, because I was the only Asian girl in school, and my English was still broken, but I rocked Cinderella, okay? I was really good. This is where I first understood the idea of value. Value is, when you see color, pretend you see it in black and white. I guess partly when you're drawing yourself, it's loaded because there's a lot going on. You see yourself and you see what you think you are, and I was definitely in a mode of searching for myself as well. When I was doing my gigs in Soho, singing, I had a drummer named Frank Levitano, who goes by the name Frankie Sticks. I wanted to paint him. So this is Frankie Sticks. It really stems from the fact that I was so freaking frustrated with classical music, I just wanted to rip it up. That was my initial feeling. Like, I want to use this. I can't play this music well enough, but why don't I just use it for art? And so I'm using it to kind of tell a story. So that was a new thing for me, because painting has always been, for me, drawing what's in front of you, making it look as realistic as possible, and that is a successful drawing, as opposed to how do you draw how you feel. It's a collaboration. Ben, remember this? You drew this. It's a horsey. You made it. That's right. If this was about anything, I guess it's like the contrast of me as an adult versus a child. When I first tried, I could not meditate, and I was like, this is not my thing. I'm just not a meditator. But I just had sort of a calling to do, or sort of attraction towards it. So it's really interesting when you watch your thoughts and you're able to separate those from, I guess, who you really are. And permission is, for me, it's about giving yourself permission to look at your shit. What would it feel like if I had a sense of abundance during those hard times? Because I think that's when it matters. When you're going through those tough times is when I so desperately need to feel like someone has got my back. I use the word toggle because I think of a computer, you know, when you toggle back and forth. That's how easy it is to toggle back and forth between the sense of feeling abundant and feeling the lack. You know, it's such a fragile back and forth.